Okay guys, before I get too dirty, I want to show you this. I think I found the issue on the rear brakes. So what we were finding out with the car is you have to press the pedal a real long way to get any engagement, and then like it was just soft, you push a long way. And I'm thinking it's because there's a space on this caliper, so the pads are supposed to just kind of rub up against the rotor. You do get a little bit of drag that way. That's just how it is. And I'm thinking because there's a space, maybe like 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch on either side from both pads. Like here, I'll come over here. Look at this. So that's how you get piston slap or rotor slap. Basically, I have to press the pedal just to get that brake caliper to engage, and I have to press it farther just to get it to slow down. So I'm going to take some of that gap out and see if that helps my soft brake pedal issue at all. Probably needs new lines as well. Not going to do that yet. Hopefully this can fix a lot of that issue. So as you guys can see, there is space there and space on that side, allowing the rotor and everything to move. Like this just all moves. Allow it to move before it really gets engaged or anything like that. So basically just fell right off. As we look, this is the inside pad. Not very good contact. Looks like it's just barely pressing. Not much wear either, showing that this brake is almost doing nothing in a run. I'm gonna put it back together. As you can see, it's the old just twist on calipers because it's just single piston. So I have this kit here from AutoZone, which will help me twist that caliper back and kind of take some of the space out. But hopefully we can get this thing working properly. For those who haven't used this tool before, it is great for actually getting it to push the caliper back. When you put new pads, obviously this pad compound will get lower, you'll get closer, and that will prevent you from getting new pads back on. But it also works getting it to extend it back because it does twist. Sometimes just having this little tool doing it in the opposite direction is easier. So when I get the clearance right, it should be, see, that's much better. It's already like kind of firm, already kind of engaged on there. If you're doing this and it just slips right on, especially on these old pistons, they don't quite move as well as I used to. Because this, see, a lot less move here. Because it took a little bit to slip on, that's about perfect. I might make it just a little bit tighter because I know this one is a little bit older. But that is pretty close. I'll have to kind of hammer it down to get it actually on, and that's what you want. You want that clearance to not quite be, at least preference for me, want that clearance to be a little bit tighter on those rear brakes, simply because if something does happen, you know, it's actually engaging the full pad versus having a lot of movement and things like that. So I'll go ahead and put this on here. And for these, there's directions. It comes with all sorts of different attachments depending on what caliper size you have. I'm gonna put this back on here, get just a little bit, get it just a little bit extended out more, and then we'll be good. But it twists. So unlike other calipers or pistons that just come straight out, this one you gotta turn. Hey bud, hey, say hi. Yep, there we go. As you can see, much less movement. This will loosen up a little bit. As long as it just doesn't go back to where it was, this is going to be perfect for that rear brake. I'm gonna go get my little rubber mallet and get this thing patted down the rest of the way. Wow, guys, I finally got it to go on in the correct position. I fought it. It was so stupid. So as you guys can see, on the fronts here, there's a little silver piece. It just says the type of brake that I have. One of the brake pads, just extreme from Power Stop. You know, nothing too crazy, something that could do some street duty as well. Let me run over to the other side here so you guys can really see. Look at that, I am just sweating. You can see it right there. It's extreme. I was fighting it. Finally, I just said, screw it. I took it off, both sides, front and back, and the caliper just slid right on. As you can see, it is here in the correct position, solid, no gaps in it. Literally, I don't know if there was just a bar on the metal or the metal got bent or something, but that little piece, that vanity plate on the outside of the pads was enough to prevent me from getting the pad on this entire time. So it's finally on how I want it. Now we can start bleeding. I got a friend coming to help me bleed. I'm not gonna do it on my own because that's a little sketchy. So once he gets here, we'll start bleeding the brakes, but finally, it's a race car. It doesn't have to be pretty. Take that stupid stuff off. Just a pain in the ass. As you guys can see, hard to get the focus. Good placement there, and good placement there. It is finally sitting up against the rotor correctly. So as you guys know, if you don't know, if you bleed farthest from the master cylinder first. So on this car, most cars, it is right here. Actually, technically, it's below, but that's just the reservoir for it. So we'll start passenger rear, then we'll go to that one, and then we'll do passenger front, and then driver front. You bleed in that order, so that way, if you bleed the front and then you go back, if there's air in the line, then you'll get air in, I don't know why. That's just the way you do it. So let's get this going. Friend's running late, he's supposed to be here at 11. Said he won't be here till 11:30, is what it is.
Oh, I saw that.
Alright guys, finally done. Vinny's here. You guys saw his car in the last video. It was a struggle, not even gonna lie. His words, not mine. Well, they were mine too. The passenger side rear caliper broke it. Let me see if I can find that piece that I just threw. I was mad and just threw it on the ground. I'll find it later. But broke off the bleed nipple. Obviously when that happens, everything just is done. Not gonna drill it out, just bought a new caliper, ran to AutoZone real fast. So after getting back, finally got everything bled. Looks like it is going to work. The pedal feel is a lot better than what it was. Still a little bit of movement, which most likely is the rubber. I just have the original rubber brake lines on. Stainless steel ones might get that pedal movement out of there, but we're just not gonna do that yet. A little bit more weight reduction out of the car. I'm gonna remove these wheel well liners all around while I'm tightening everything up. Won't make much difference, but every little bit helps when a car makes, 240 wheel horsepower. But we'll get to that and just continue on. This one's melted to it because of the rubbing.
Should come right off though. A little bit of prying. Perfect.
Shocking. Yeah, that just broke. those aren't old.
Sounds like thunder upstairs from her.
The wife's vacuuming.
Yeah, I was gonna say from her moving something. It's like when those fighter jets fly over the house.
Oh yeah. Alright, other than those 7mm bolts, it's just plastic clips. Which you guys saw here, they basically all broke because they're so old. Pop this out. Just plug it right out. There it is.